13 sales in just 30 days in my brand new Etsy shop with just 3 little designs. That's the story I'm going to be sharing with you today. We're going to pop over into that Etsy shop. I'm going to let you know what strategy I am using so you know how I got 13 sales with just 3 designs in such a short amount of time. Now, before we pop over there, I do just want to preface this with this statement. These are not my very first 3 designs. In my real or first Etsy shop, I mean, they're both real, but in the one that I do most of my business in, I've had nearly 8,000 listings pass through that shop in the last 3.5 years. So it has been a lot of learning that has gone along over those years, and so I've gotten a lot better at creating designs that sell. But I think this is just a really fun story because knowing that a new Etsy shop can make sales this quickly with so few designs tells you that you're not invisible, that it's not because you're a new shop. There's simply a learning curve, a method, a science that can be learned to do really well on Etsy. You don't have any cards stacked against you. Etsy's not putting you in a timeout or putting you at a disadvantage because you're a new shop. You simply have a learning curve. I think that is so reassuring that I am in control of what I am doing in my Etsy shop. There isn't any outside force keeping me down because I'm a newbie. If I take the time to learn the skill, that equals sales, period. Learn the skill, do the task, make the sales. That's it. That's all it takes to make money with Etsy. Okay, let's jump over into that Etsy shop, and I'm going to show you really the decisions that went behind these 3 designs. I'm also going to show you what I should be doing next if I wanted this shop to scale. Okay, here we are in my shop stats, and you'll see I have August 2nd is when I listed. I must have listed right here around August 2nd or August 3rd. And right now when I am filming this, we're at September 3rd. And you'll see here I have 12 orders and the revenue is $64.88. This is a digital shop. I created this shop because I recently started a membership and wanted to offer my members something that I knew would be valuable and would help them to be on trend and to make designs that people wanted to buy. And so as I racked my brain around that, I thought, well, if I create a font for them that I see is trending but isn't available yet in certain holidays, then I could give my members an edge on that. And so that's kind of where this idea was born, where I kind of came up with making this a little digital shop. So if you do happen to be watching this and you're a member, please don't go purchase anything. It's already, the things that I have offered in here are already free in the membership. For those of you that would like to purchase something because maybe you're not a member in the membership, I will leave a link down in the description that will get you 60% off. Now, before we jump back over, you should also know that as I created these items for my membership, it was kind of an afterthought to go, oh, well, I just spent all this time creating this. Why not go ahead and put it in this little Etsy shop? It's an Etsy shop that I had created to help me do tutorials here on YouTube. So I went ahead and threw it in there. Now, this shop was not and is not optimized at all. I think this just really speaks to something that I am going to be stressing during this video, is that design is absolute king. Being on trend and adding something new and valuable to the market, which I am going to show exactly how I did that here in this shop, it is absolute king. It's more important than any of the other pieces. Not that the other pieces aren't important. They are, but you could do everything else right. And if you don't have the design right, then you're not going to make the sales. And this is the hardest piece to do. So what's going to happen is all of the people that you're competing with that are just starting Etsy shops or toward the beginning of their journeys, it's just 90% of people, more than 90% of people are going to put out. They're just going to give up too soon. They're going to have expected more for where they're at in that learning curve. So if you just put it in your mind that, okay, well, it's a learning curve and I'm going to do what it takes and I'm going to learn this thing, then you'll be able to pull out ahead of that herd and you'll be the one that gets to make the sales. And watching videos like this will help because it's really going to show you the why behind what was working in this. What was it that helped to make these sales, which will accelerate your growth in being able to do that. So again, this was not optimized. There's no frequently asked questions. There was no banner. There wasn't even a little button with the name. I just added that to it. So, and despite all of that, these sales started. So if we head on over to the dashboard, you'll see I actually have 13 sales. One of those orders had 2 of the PNG files in it. And that's actually the person that gave me the 2 reviews. I love them. Do you feel like that when you get the first couple of reviews in your shop? Don't you just love that person? And then we've got over here in the listings, you're going to see some inactive and draft ones. Those are ones that I've used as tutorial pieces for the channel. So I don't leave them active in the shop. I've often had this shop on vacation mode and only just really made it live and let it stay up with listings in it when I decided to do this about 30 days ago. Well, first, let me show you where this came from. Notice that I've stuck with the same product. I'm not all over the place with my products because I've got something going for me by putting the same product out when I'm brand new. Not that it's okay to put other products out, but when you're all over the place with products, it's a learning curve for each of those products. And then one of the nice things here is that I'm gaining in the algorithm for certain words. They're each different fonts, but across all 4 of these, I'm doubling down specifically in the area of font, alphabet, PNG, and these all happen to be Dalmatian dot alphabets. So there's some common themes of SEO in my title and in my tags that are running throughout all 4 of these. That's working in my favor because I'm feeding the algorithm with these things repeatedly, letting Etsy know that maybe I know a thing or 2 about this, right? And actually, one more thing to note on that. If you were doing multiple products, but you were staying in the same niche, that would also have the same impact for you because now you might have a cup and you might have a PNG or you might have a sweatshirt and you might have a shirt, but they're all cat mom things, let's say. So now you've got that cat mom SEO in each of your things, and then that person that comes in to purchase something likes cat stuff, you also have a chance to make multiple sales. Just like here, I've got all PNG, so the person that likes to create things on their own, they might buy multiple PNG sets, but I also have repeated themes in each of these listings with those certain terms, just like you could, even if you had a mix of products, but we're working in the same niche. Personally, for me in my POD's shop, I do mostly one product, which I've added a couple products to that now, but I just started, like the whole first year was just the one product. And I like to run my shop as a general store, meaning that I work in several niches. I don't go crazy. I like to feed the algorithm with certain niches. And I round my shop out throughout the year like that, so I know certain niches sell better at different times of the year. I will leave a video linked down below that goes into how I run my general shop and why I like general versus a niche shop, but the benefits of each in that video. And I will also leave linked below my general niche calendar and resource along with my Q4 calendar and resource, because those were created with the intention of helping to round out one's shop over the course of the year. Obviously, the Q4 one is focused on the last 6 months of the year, while the general one is a snapshot for the entire year, what you should be listing in so that you can make money throughout the whole year. And one more quick note on that. I know I'm off topic here a little bit, but just go with me for a second. I remember being so frustrated the first year because I'd start to gain some momentum and then I was constantly in a state of worry because I'd be like, oh yay, this teacher shirt is selling, but I know that they're only going to buy this up until school starts again. And then what? I'm to ground zero because I don't have anything set, that momentum's all gone. But it's not really. And I learned that throughout that year. Yes, your momentum for that shirt is going to die down and you'll have a chance to pick it back up the following year. And that's one of the reasons the first year is so hard, because you have to round out that shop. You really do. And so you have to make sure that you're always listing about 3 months before that time of year when all of those searches are going to get cooking up on Etsy, so that you have a chance to rise with those searches and to start getting discovered. And you're going to have a lot of, up and down that first year as you try to get it rounded out, because you're constantly hustling for the next thing. The following year is a lot easier. You're still needing to round out and feed those fires you started the year before, but that first year is really hard to get that going and to get it a bit rounded out. So in all of those slower moments when you're like, oh no, my sales just dropped, what happened? I did something wrong. No, your shop just isn't rounded out yet, most likely. And I think your most important job during that period of time is to keep motivated and listing diligently, even though you feel unmotivated because the sales are now not coming in. You like it, Etsy picked you up, you feel so happy you're making sales, and then you just got dropped and you're not getting any sales. The only way you're going to change that and get the shop rounded out is if you do keep chugging. And so it might feel like a lot of this at the beginning, but you're going to have to ride those waves and you're going to have to keep chugging hard in order to really get in there. Now, normally it would take a lot more than 4, but let me show you how I was able to do this so quickly with just 4. This came from research-based decisions. So first, I saw a bestseller PNG file, kind of like this, for an alphabet with similar coloring to this. Bright alphabet with the Dalmatian dots behind it. And I only saw one bestseller for this at the time, but that's enough for me. If I see something pop up, it's a bestseller either on a shirt or in another product, like a PNG file or a sticker or a mug or a card or an invitation. All of these are great places to take my inspiration from. And because I saw this PNG file, if you haven't watched it, I'll leave it linked down below. I did a video where I explained a challenge that my best friend and I had. And in her shop, I listed a great many things with this font across like 3 or 4 niches I focused on in our little challenge. And we got her shop its first bestseller with one of those designs. And she had regular sales throughout the summer because of those designs in her newer shop, right? So how did we do that? We noticed something really early on. We didn't wait until it was all over t-shirts. We noticed it in a different product. In this case, it was P&G. And I'm willing to take a chance on that. Hey, sometimes it works out. Other times it doesn't. But I just keep swinging the bat when it comes to that kind of thing. And it works out often enough to make it wildly worth it for me. So after I did that, I thought, oh, I would like to make some Halloween versions. And I went right onto Etsy to look for a Halloween font and did not see it with the Dalmatian dots behind it, with those Dalmatian dot, with that style, which is why I created the Halloween one. And let's pop back over to the shop here. So I created this. It was, I start messy. I just jump into things and I start messy. I did literally maybe 5 minutes of research, if that, for my SEO, my title and my tags. Again, this was something that was like an afterthought. The purpose of this was for my membership. So this was kind of like, I did it, so why not throw it in this Etsy shop? And then it just became a really fun experiment because I threw this in here doing very quick SEO, literally 5 minutes of SEO research. I took a quick peek at the way other people were placing their fonts for this main image, because I've never done a PNG listing before. So that was all brand new to me. I didn't know what it should look like, but every decision I would make would be based on research. So I'm going to look at the other bestsellers. How do they have theirs positioned? What does it look like? I did a pretty messy version of it, but this is what I put out. And then right away started getting visits which was like, oh, interesting. I knew I was on trend because it was coming from the Dalmatian alphabet. And then I knew I was adding something new and valuable to the market because I was pulling it over to Halloween, and there was no other listings at the time that were Halloween. So that's how I was able to make sure that I'm, one, on trend, and two, adding something new and valuable to the market, looking for another place and to pull it into, another niche to pull it into, here specifically Halloween niche. Really fun to get the first sale on this, but then I went ahead and did a Christmas version. By the time I got around to this, there were already some Christmas version PNGs out there. But I went ahead and put mine together with the colors that I decided to go with, and it has been getting traction. So that's super fun. And then I decided to do a Thanksgiving version, which I decided to A/B test the mock-up. So I did this one and I did this one. So I stayed with the same format as these two here. And then I went with something a little different here. Calling all thankful creatives. And then I wanted to show that there was also these circular patterns plus this plus ABC. So I can't say this was as much based on research, because normally my decisions like this are very much based on research. I didn't see anyone saying calling all creatives, but knowing that I was eventually going to on YouTube say, hey guys, look, I started this PNG shop, or it'll really be a shop where I create things to help Etsy sellers. But knowing I was going to be doing that, I knew that this seemed like something that would speak to you guys on YouTube, right? So it just seemed to make sense to me to try that. I kind of didn't expect that one to work, but this is why A/B tests are fun, because this one has 40 visits and 4 favorites, and it has 3 sales, while this one only has 9 visits and 1 favorite and no sales. So I just thought that was an interesting result. Now I am running ads on these. If you'd like me to do a video showing you how those are going, let me know, and I'll jump into that with you. I'll do a thorough ads video with you on this. But let's jump in and see how much I've made so far in profit on these sales. So they go for, after my sale in the shop, they go for $4.99. I'm going to give you a better discount down below if you'd like it. So don't forget to snag that. Don't just go over into the shop. And if I did $4.99 this month, I have 3 sales so far. That's how they're getting $14.97. So then we have to subtract my fees. Etsy kept $2.78. And then I spent on marketing my Etsy ads, aka Etsy ads, I spent $2.98. So far, it is September 3rd. I've made $9.21 in this shop. I'll take it. And then let's take a look now at August. In order to do that, we don't have that option right here, but we can go over to finances, monthly statements. Now I can choose August. I had a total of 9 sales times $4.99 gives us $44.91, which is what we have right here. Then we've got our fees. Etsy kept $10.01. And then we have our marketing, and I didn't pay attention to my ads. And so that ate up $22. So I made $12.81 during the month of August, giving me right around $30 in profit in my new little shop with 3 designs, 4 listings in the last 30 days. If you have a PNG shop and you have some ads advice for me, please go down into the comments and let me know. I did try to do a couple of PNGs. They weren't like this. They weren't font sets or anything in my regular shop. And it was only 2 or 3 listings. But I ran ads on them and they blew my budget up. So I had to turn them off. They've been easier to handle over here in this shop. And I think that might be because everything is similarly priced. So maybe the ads budget is getting divvied out a little bit better because of that. I'm not sure. I'm still figuring it out. So I've got a bit of learning to do. I've got a bit of that learning curve for myself with ads in a PNG shop. I wasn't paying much attention to them. during the month of August because I have a lot going on. And honestly, I keep going in there and like once a week and cleaning them up. So it's really going to take more effort from me to be able to really get those figured out. If you do want me to jump into ads with you on this P&G shop, I'm showing you what I would turn on and what I would leave off as far as key terms and what I've been doing in there so far, then let me know. I will keep getting things figured out in there and I will do a video for you. I hope you found this so helpful. I hope you're feeling inspired. If you are feeling invisible because you feel like, man, I'm a new shop and that's why I'm not getting seen. I think one of the reasons that left me feeling so hopeless when I started my shop was because I have no control over that. If being new is what's keeping me back, how am I ever supposed to have a chance to get better? Am I ever going to be able to dig my way out of this? And I think it is so comforting to know it's just learning the skill. That's it. You don't go take boxing lessons and come out looking like a champ the first day you're at boxing lessons. You're looking klutzy, you're looking clumsy. It's going to take a year of going to boxing lessons to start bobbing and weaving and looking good. It's no different in our Etsy shops. It takes time to be good at something. So if this is something that you want for yourself, I really encourage you to be patient enough with yourself to give yourself enough time to learn how to do this. I also really encourage you to kind of grab that responsibility for yourself. Sometimes it seems easier to say, oh, it's the Etsy gods. No one's looking at my stuff because of the Etsy gods. They won't show my stuff to anybody. But again, that is just so hopeless. That leaves you in such a hopeless place. And I think those of us that kind of lean into that type of attitude for too long, we're going to give up. And the herd is going to pass us, trample us right over and keep on going. And we're going to be the ones that putt out. So if you really embrace the idea that this is a learning curve and you're willing to kick that learning curve in the butt, then you are channeling the energy you're going to need in order to get this working for yourself. Let's keep hanging out in this video here while I'll go more into research-based decisions, which I think are the biggest accelerator of getting yourself some sales. But of course, not until after this tip from Tucker. Tucker, take it away.